Okay, hi everyone. We're looking at this Hangman assignment where you have some changes from the previous one. Okay, so let's look at some new things here. The first thing is that you need to have your 2D array, instead of a 2D array of characters, you need an array of strings. Okay, so um, this should be a 1D array of strings basically, and assume these words can be as big as you wish. So here you can choose the size of each word, okay, of the words. You can set like a max of 30. So let's see how we would do this. Okay, so here you have two options. One option is to create an array of string variables, and another option is to create an array of pointers to string literals. Okay, so let's look at both and how they look at in PowerPoint. So let me get into PowerPoint to show you how this, what the difference is basically between the two. Okay, so if you declare your array as character, words, let's say I'm using 10 by, let's say 15. And initialize the strings here. Okay, so let's say window, boy, and okay, so you assume 10 words here. I'm not gonna fill everything out, and let's say table. What is actually going on in memory is that a block of memory is allocated big enough to store 10 by 15 characters. Okay, so this means that this memory block, which is associated with the array name words, has 10 rows, 0 through 9. And has 15 columns, okay, 0 through 14. So what this means is that all of this memory is allocated. So how many bytes do we have? 10 times 15 bytes is 10 times 15 is 150 bytes. Okay, so you're allocating everything here. And even if you're storing a word that's short, like window, okay, so here is the first character. I'm not going to type in everything here, window, let's say. What happens is that you're actually allocating more memory that you want here, okay? So you're actually overusing memory. Remember the null character at the end. Okay, so here you have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the rest of the bytes here, are unused, okay? They are initialized to some value here, okay? But they're not used. So notice here that you're actually allocating much more memory that you need, okay? Because everything here to the right after the null character is unused. But this is okay. Okay, I don't mind this, but I'm just letting you know what is going on in memory. Now, there is another way to do this, and the other way is to use arrays of pointers to string literals. Okay, and this method looks like this. So let me, okay, I didn't want to do that. Let me create a new slide here. So this other option you have is declare your array like this. You don't really need to specify the size here. Same goes with the previous here for the words. You don't, this is not necessary, remember, okay, the rows, because if you initialize at the same time, it knows that you have 3 rows here, so it automatically understands that the size here is 3 instead of 10. Okay, so this the rows is not necessary. And similarly, if you initialize, this is a 1D array of pointers to characters. Similarly here, you don't really need to specify the number of elements of the array, okay, because I'm going to initialize through this list here, so it automatically understands. Let me write list as the second one, and let's say boy as the third, so it automatically understands that you have 3 elements. So how does this look in memory? Well, in memory, under the hood, it looks like this. Okay, this is an array. Words is an array of character star, of pointers to characters. And specifically, it's an array of pointers to string literals. These are string literals. And remember the difference between string literals and string variables. Okay, you cannot change string literals. So these cannot change. This is the difference here. And you don't actually want them to change, right? Do you? Because once you create your array of string literals with the words, I mean, you're never going to change these words, okay? So this is a good way to set up this array of strings as an array of pointers to strings. So what you're really doing here is you have your array, okay? So words is a single dimensional array. 0, okay, here we have 3 words, so 0, 1, and 2. And these contain pointers to the string literals. So array 0 is a pointer to the string literal window, which is stored somewhere in memory. And the size is exactly, you know, the number of characters plus the null character. Okay, so you're not wasting any space here, like this. And the second element is a pointer to list, which is 5 elements, list null, and so forth. Okay, so basically here you're allocating much less memory, so you're allocating the memory that you want. Okay, and same for the boy. So here you're allocating the number of bytes to store a pointer. This depends on your operating system. Okay, if you have 32-bit operating system, you need 4 bytes for the pointer. If you have a 64-bit, you need 8 bytes. Okay, so you have, say we have a 32-bit. So here, how much memory are we using? We're using 3 times 4 is 12 for the pointers, 12 bytes. And plus all these bytes to store the words. Okay, so that's much less. Okay, so we're saving memory. So this is another way to do this. So if we go into Netbeans, let me show you how this would look. And it's exactly the same, and these are, the elements are accessed in exactly the same way. So let's look at it. Okay, so let's look at it in action. So words with the first method, I'm going to use 10 columns here. And I'm going to initialize the words. Let's say boy, table, and window. Okay, so we have 3 rows. Okay, so this is an array of strings, of string variables. And let's look at the other way, which is character star words lit. I'm going to make this lit, words stored as pointers to string literals. Again, initialize the same way here. Array of, forgot the comment, array of pointers to string literals. Okay, so this saves space. So if we can go through each and display. So let me use, Okay, let me define num words as 3. Okay, so we have 3 words in each. So we can use a for loop here for int I from 0 up to less than num words plus plus I, oops, and then you can just printf each one. So this is words of I is %s. Okay, print them out as a string. So we're also going to print the index words of I. Okay, for the first one, so let's run this. Okay, so notice that void table window are printed out, and you can do exactly the same with exactly the same syntax for the second one. Okay, this is words lit. Okay, see how everything works exactly the same, so you can choose either method. So if you had a random number, okay, so say you generated a random number, so I'm not going to generate one now, but you know how to do this. And let's say the random number was 2, for example. Okay, if you wanted to figure out which word this corresponds to, well, instead of using I here, you would just use that random number. Okay, so printf random word is. So by just using the random number as the index here, okay, so that way you get the word as a string. And it failed because I have an extra variable here. Let me delete it. So here it is, okay, so random word is window. I forgot the new line. Random word is window, okay? So this is the first part. I'm going to put some more videos out for this assignment. Thank you, and see you in my next video.